Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at the workshop, or not workshop, work desk. I've been away for a while. I haven't really gotten a whole lot done on video, but I have been doing some work, so I'm going to pull out said work real quick. Now, I have tried several times to record my putting together the Soundtraxx upgrades to one of my locomotives. Well, that has had its ups and downs, and we're going to do a little work because I need to fix that grab iron. So, I've had up and down luck with this locomotive. It has been a challenge, but I finally have upgraded both my Virginia and Truckee Verdi and my Central Pacific Jupiter locomotives. They have Soundtraxx Tsunami 2 decoders. There we go. They have the Soundtraxx current keepers, and they have two of the Sugar Mini Cube 3 speakers. So I've given them their wood loads. They run quite well, actually, quite well indeed. The Jupiter needs to be given her engineer, and I gotta put the wood back into the fireman's hands, but they're finished. They run. I have ran them both down at my club layout, and they work well. They work really good. Big shout out to George over at Soundtraxx for all his help in getting me the knowledge and wisdom I needed to make all this come together. So there these two are. You've seen me post a couple videos. There's still little things I want to do. I gotta find better decaling, the water slide decals at some point, because these ones currently have not water slide but vinyl decals, so you can tell that there's a decal there, and I don't like that. I want it to look like the way the Jupiter looks like it's actual paint. It looks like it's part of that tinder, you know. It's you could just tell it's not a fake looking decal. So that is on my list of things I'd like to do. So today what we're gonna do, let me put these guys away. I am going to try and do a full cut video because I don't edit stuff right now. I'm just not there yet. For now, let's just start making videos happen. So what I'm gonna do is after twice now, well, I'd almost say 3 times, having to figure out how to do the rewiring, I believe I have finally figured it out. I've got these 2 locomotives redone. I had a third decoder that I had to send back because as soon as I wired it up, it would start getting hot to the touch, and so that's been sent off. In the meantime, I bought a new decoder and current keeper and everything because I have a 4th locomotive that I recently picked up from one of the local hobby shops. And yeah, I'm gonna use it at some point, but for now we're gonna upgrade the Reno. That's the train that's the locomotive I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. So what we're gonna start with is the initial test. So as you can see here, maybe let's zoom it down here a little bit. Alright, now, this is the current keeper. This is actually one of the more important portions of this entire thing. This is what allows your locomotive, well, my locomotives, because they're so itty bitty teeny tiny, to continuously roll over dirty or spotty track without dying off. Because initially, and I don't have them on here right now, but you see these pickups, these brass pickups. They, let's see here, do I have the, okay, so you see the two insulated wheels there? Yeah, there we go. So if you look on the rear truck there's no insulation. But if you look on these ones, there's that little black ring disc. And what this allows is this wheel to pick up a positive positive current, and then the back wheels will pick up the negative current. Now, what I've been doing is adjusting these little tenders to have pickup on both the left and the right, positive and negative, which will give it more connection to the current and will prevent it from shorting out and stopping when hitting a dead spot. Because of how short a distance it is between these two trucks, if you go into a dead spot that could cover the distance, your little train's gonna stop. There's just nothing to get around preventing that. So the current keeper allows you to continue to have about 10 seconds of power that would push the locomotive and the tender across that spot. It also happens on the switches. On some switches on track 3 at the layout, they would, I guess, have a little dead spot in what's called the frog or something, and that prevents it from, continuing over the switching section. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do right here, real quick, is I'm going to plug in my decoder, or excuse me, my track power here. This is going to be the initial test on the decoder. Now, I've already done this, I'm just doing it for the camera here. But I want to do it on the camera just to show what I'm doing. So what I've done is this set of wheels, I have connected the positive and the negative to my current decoder. Oh, did I already disconnect the speakers? I did. Excuse me. Alrighty. Well, what this is going to do will activate the decoder. We'll see if it gets properly activated. I wish I had the speakers on here. What did I do with them? Alright, so we got the blue light. See, there's the blue light. That means it's working. And it's not burning up to the touch. And if I have the speakers attached, which again, I wish I knew where I put those things. Can't be too far away. Oh, here they are. Let's see if I can't redo this real quick. So, set this out of the way. We're gonna So while I'm doing this, what have I been up to? So yes, I haven't been recording much. I'm terrible at it, but I'm going to get better. Just recently, in the past week, my best friend I made in Afghanistan, well, we hung out for a bit, and then I haven't seen him in hot minute, and it was good to see him and his wife. One of my other really good buddies. We went down to visit him for the week, did some pew-pew therapy, as I like to call it. And I gotta say, I don't really play like I was a door-kicking infantry, badass or nothing, but I did my time in the Army and whatnot. But I was a truck driver, so there wasn't a whole lot of pew-pew for me. And I found out I can still shoot pretty far and put lead on target, which means I'm not as bad as I thought. So let's put this back on here, see how well this goes, and we'll see if we can hear. Oh, we have it. There's the audio. Yeah, that's the good stuff. All right. Alright, so we know how that works. Obviously the speakers work, and so does the decoder. Again, not getting hot to the touch. And this is just off of the positive and negative, just wired up. So what I'm going to do different with this build, this time, now that I got that setting, that out of the way, we can move on to the next phase. So I'm going to bring the camera back up so we get some workspace here. Okay. Normally what I would do is I would rip this thing apart. I'd be putting my secondary wire work in there, and we're not going to do that yet. What we're going to do, first and foremost, is disconnect these. Actually, yeah, we're going to disconnect everything just while we do this little bit of work. So detwist that. So usually I would try to put everything on the wiring harness and try to just go from there. That has not been working, and I'm going to show you why. Let's see. I know I got my wiring harness. Oh, it's actually in there, so we're going to grab that one of these at some point. And actually, this wiring harness is already out, kind of short, but yeah, maybe we can make this one work. It's already got a nice split to it. They're a little short, but we can make that work. Okay, then we're gonna use that one, and then I'm gonna need this, and eventually I'm gonna need that. That is a current keeper. That is jacked. Drats. Oh well. Okay. There's another harness. So the wiring harness goes under the chassis of the tender. Let's get that focus to work. Okay, there you go. See how it goes through? Goes underneath, and then all of these wires go up into the shell of the tender. But I don't want to start with that. What I want to start with is I want to connect all of these wires first, then feed this harness back through the front of this tender, and then I can go do the rest of the stuff. So we're just going to make sure this wires up properly. I'll still power it back up to these trucks that I have set standby, and we'll go from there. So let's take these guys apart. But yeah, it was a good week. I went and, like I said, I saw my buddy who was getting ready to move. And, yeah, went shooting at the range. It was fun. It really it was just a good week in general. Seeing my buddy, getting out of the apartment, getting out on the road, and it was very much needed. So now I'm rejuvenated. You know, what I'm gonna do now is focus on kind of getting my diet back under control, because I spoiled myself. It was vacation, so there's some junk food along the way that I certainly didn't need, but I enjoyed. So I'm gonna tighten things down for the next week and a half, because I'm gonna be going on another trip out back to Nevada, and so we will cross those bridges when we get to them. Let's see. So the yellow, I believe, is the one I want to get rid of, because I don't need this yellow wire. Because the orange and the gray, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pair some of these up so that way they just kind of get out of the way. And probably don't need to do this, but anyways, yeah, getting out, hanging with some of the guys, doing some guy stuff. It is definitely good for the soul, one could say. And yeah, I'm motivated. I got to get into making my videos, because it's never gonna matter to nobody if I don't make them. So here we are making them, and eventually I want to do live streams and more stuff that is more interesting than just me, you know, talking to nobody. It's hard for me to do videos though, because I like to just sit, listen to podcasts, or listen to music. I don't like talking, at least not to myself. I don't mind sharing, you know, who I am, what I am, where I've been, what I've done. But after a while, it feels weird, because I don't really talk to people very often these days. You know, these days it's very much just me and the cats. And let's see, get this yellow one out of here, because we really don't need it. Gotta get that one back out of the way. Get you guys out of the way. Same with you, orange. Now we just get in there and snip this guy on out. Let's see. Don't snip the green wire. There we go. So this yellow wire is for if I was having to wire up like a rear light. As you can tell, I don't have a rear light. I only have that. There's no light, so we don't need that yellow one. The yellow one goes away. So we got that. Those, two of those. So orange and gray. You guys in your own little hose, just to keep you out of the way a little bit. A little bit more something or other, I guess. I don't know if this is really gonna help much, but so we got those two marked down, and then the white wire and the blue wire. Come together. Which is kind of a tricky thing too, because the blue wire also goes to this green and yellow wire, which is, I believe, the ground. And that goes to the current keeper's black wire. The blue wire here goes to both the light and the current keeper. And they come together to a resistor, and then that goes on into the locomotive. So we got these kind of paired off, so when I connect them, I'll possibly do it right. I don't think this is actually going to be very useful, so we're just, yeah, we'll leave it on the positive and negative wires because they're not going to be, well, they're not the ones we're going to start with. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take these off because that's not doing anything useful as I thought it would. So set this to the side because we're not going to use its harness. In fact, yes we are. We're going to do it right. We're going to do this right. So we need to take this apart because how are you going to know what I'm doing if I don't show you what I do? So we're going to go ahead and take this apart. So yeah, I'm going to try to do more videos. In the next week, my brother, who I haven't seen in quite a while, he's going to be in town, so maybe I'll record something and post it on, but, you know, I don't really like posting personal life stuff on here. This is just for my hobbies, for my model railroading, mostly. Come on. Alright. So, I'm going to pull these out of there. And where is that? It's still in there. Oh, there we go. Alright, then we'll go ahead and we'll remove the speakers. Then we'll go ahead and get this taken apart. Might as well get this out of the way and done with. But yeah, after my brother comes through for about a week, because he's doing a motorcycle thing, I'll then fly out to Nevada. And what I'm excited for in Nevada is the Great Western Steam Up at the Nevada State Railroad Museum in Carson City, the capital of Nevada. And they will be showcasing the 150th anniversary of the Virginia and Truckee Railroad. They will be hosting the largest gathering of vintage V&T locomotives for the first time in decades. And it'll be the 150th anniversary of the Virginia and Truckee Railroad. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun vacation trip that I've not been able to enjoy a real one, not since I went on R&R in 2011 while I was deployed to Afghanistan. I took a trip to Hawaii for my R&R, and it was amazing. And it was about the only real vacation I've had since I was a little kid. So here we are, about to go on a first real vacation. You know, it's gonna be a vacation back to my home. That's a first, I guess. Let's see here. Got those two. Gotta snip those posts. So we're gonna just go ahead and pop this guy off real quick. Trying to be careful not to pop off the little fireman that I've already got on there. So you're just a peg, because those are the two. So we're gonna snip you. Snip you. And then we're gonna snip you. 3. that I think I may have just discovered a opening. Maybe. Oh, well, we got distracted. Let's see here. What am I? I'm looking at a screw hole, but I'm not entirely exactly what screw goes there, so I think this one's not going to answer my question, though, because I've already pulled it apart. Oh, that's where one of the... I get it. That's where... Okay, that's not a big deal. We're not worried about that one. Never mind. So, yeah, there we go. Put this back together. Go back under the shell. There we go. Oh well. This is the tender for the 119 Union Pacific locomotive, and I just don't have any interest in getting this one up and running as much as I do my other engines. Oh. Okay. Back to what we were working on. Okay, so most of that's sorted out. We're not going to finish this whole thing today, so we're going to just get most of this going. So, alright. Because I need to put some more of the moldable lead into these spaces to fill them up a little bit, but that's not today's priority. Today's priority right now is the decoder. So, one thing we will be doing is testing to make sure everything works okie dokie. And that is with my 9-volt battery tool. So what we got to do, which we can already assume everything works, but we're not going to do that, because what happens when you assume? You make an ass out of you and me. Okay, so we're going to attach the positive to the positive, and then we attach the negative to the negative, and then there's a little green light here that, turned on. So that checks out. Positive, negative checks out. Next up is the gray and orange. These are the motor wires. So we need to check this guy out. So we'll feed you in through the 30 slot. The negative, and the orange is the positive. Alright, that's to that. Grab the positive, and look at that, green light comes on, so that means these are running good. And finally, it's the white, which is the negative. Had to think about that one. Yeah, white is negative. And blue will go to the positive. Let's see. Pull it out of this mess. Snip the little end off. Connect it to the positive. And we have the green light. So, that passed all those tests. We know it both works off of the track. We got the sound. And we know that the positive and negative here works. And we know all of these are all current carrying. So, what I'm going to do, let's see here, what have I recorded? This is about 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to pause this. And this is going to be one episode. And then I'm going to take a break, take care of a few things, and then I'll come back with the next episode. So let's cut it here, and I'll see you guys in a bit.